trying a bunch of matcha. Usually I'm not super excited trying to find a new matcha. So far, this place has been very, very nice. Streaming thing. It's a bit weird. Just gonna wait a little bit to. Interesting. Somehow the app showing a landscape on Instagram, but I guess that's a good thing. Didn't change the settings. Just somehow, sometimes it's this way, I guess. I am going to try a bunch of ceremonial grade matcha. Try one of them last week and it was very good. And trying 5 more. Let's see. I don't want to use strainer because I want to see how clumpy they are. So this one is organic Goko matcha from Shizuoka. This is what it looks like. Let's see how many scoops. I put 1 grams. Yeah, that's 1 grams. So 1 scoop is about 1 grams. Smells very nutty. Goko is originated from Uji, but this one is Shizuoka. So let me see how good they are. We have a Goko that is not available online. It tastes very good, but it's from Uji. It's a lot more expensive. Tea from Shizuoka seems to be much cheaper, like half price, sometimes even more. So I want to be able to find a much more affordable matcha if I can. They're not as popular as matcha from Uji. That's probably why it's cheaper. Doesn't mean they don't have a good tea. Shizuoka is one of the most producing tea in Japan. Wow, it smells just from the color and the smell. It smells kind of like a dessert, almost like a peanut butter matcha kind of feel. So you can definitely smell that buttery, nutty notes. Even a little bit spice to it. I'm actually very impressed with this farm. And the fact that it's organic has impressed me even more. I don't know how they found me, but I'm kind of happy that they did. Alright, this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it here. Seems to be, yeah. Maybe I'll put it right here, you can see better. better angle this. Fortunately, I'm using one camera right now. Very good. I like how bright it is. It's very sweet. Wow, it really does remind me of peanut butter though. It's very, very good. Slightly different with the Goku that I got. Oh, there's a little bit more rough aftertaste. So Goku are normally the tea that they use for gyokuro or for ceremonial grade matcha or like for a lot of ceremony. So which means normally you want to make it strong. So 1 gram is barely like an ounce of water in this, so it's really strong. This style is unless if it's like a really good matcha, it won't work. So I think it's good for like a regular drinking matcha, but koicha there is definitely that hints of like bitterness. But overall, I think it's very exciting flavor. Whew. But you can't drink it too much. This is how you know how good a matcha is. So if you drink it as a regular amount of matcha, I think this will be good. But it's a bit rough just by itself. Ooh. I can't sell this as a ceremonial grade, I guess. I mean, it is a ceremonial grade, but I guess I can't drink it like the koicha style. As much as I like the flavor, koicha style is definitely a no. The other one was yes though, the one I tried last week. And the aftertaste is really, really bad. That's the color. Color is okay. I think the Goku that we have from Kyoto, unfortunately, is better. Whew. With more water, it's okay. It's good. It's very good. Well, note that no koicha style. But yes on regular. Regular straight drinking matcha style. That was rough. Wow. And that's the second best quality out of this farm. So after this, it's just gonna get worse. So let's see. Let's see, the next one is Yamakai, which is a crossbreed of what is, nope, it's not a crossbreed. It's developed from Yabukita seed. So developed it in 1967. At least that's what my notes say. So Yamakai is very popular among like Japanese tea nerds. They tend to be a little bit more sweeter and hints of floral. So let's get that try. Same thing, I'm gonna do 1 gram. I'm gonna do it koicha style first. Also from Shizuoka. So we have a Yamakai tea from Asamiya, Shiga, near Kyoto. It was very popular. We don't have that anymore, unfortunately. It's kind of hard to drink a bunch of matcha for like just by yourself. Gotta have something, a break or something. This is what it looks like. Let's see if I can not drop this. Well, maybe that's the extent of how much I can do this. Yeah. Let's see, how many gram is that? All right, that's 1 gram. Perfect. I've had Yamakai Sencha before. I've had Yamakai Kabusecha, which is like a shaded version of it. But I haven't really tried a Yamakai Matcha. So that's exciting. I'm actually gonna measure the water too. Why not? I'm using about 160, pretty low temperature. Let's see how much water I'm using. That's 10 milliliter. That's 20 milliliter. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this thing. That's a 20 milliliter. All right, let's give this a try. Fortunately, you can't see this. From the smell, I do prefer the previous one. And this one is definitely need some strainer. The clumps is much worse. I'm gonna put it into the glass so that you guys can see it better. The fact that I found one that is very good matcha from this farm, for me, I'm pretty happy with that. I think eventually my goal is to just get 1 or 2 teas from each farm, like the best one from each farm, you know. I mean, I have to sell a lot if I want to do it that way to maintain the relationship with the farmer. But that's down the road. They'll be beautiful. If I can just get 1 of each. All right, I'm gonna pour it a strong version first. Yeah, this might be a bit too strong, but it's fine. Beautiful green though. All right. I can't drink that much in one sitting, even though my body are very good at adjusting to caffeine. The smell is not appealing. It's a bit grassy, which I don't really like. Oh yeah. Ooh. That is awful. Can't even finish that. I'm gonna put a lot more water. And I look at the price, it's actually gonna get worse just based on the price itself. That was bad. Well, at least I found something I like. So if it's not a Koicha style, it's very good. I still don't really care too much. It's a bit thin when I put more water. Yeah. I wouldn't put this into a ceremonial grade, honestly. Even though the color is beautiful. The first one is much better than this one. The first one I might sell it just because it tastes actually good when you drink it the normal way, like not a strong style. But this one, I'm a bit disappointing. Yeah, I've had definitely much better quality. So I think I'm not gonna do Koicha style anymore because after this, everything else, even though they still ceremonial grade, but I doubt any of them is gonna be good. Drinking it or making them the koicha style, which is the strong, very, very strong ceremonial style. But that's unfortunately how I normally judge my matcha, is using it a strong version. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be, everything have to be that strong. All right, next one is okumidori, which is my royal matcha is an okumidori. So this will be a direct comparison. My okumidori is from Mie. This is from Shizuoka. All right, let's see. Oh, that was intense. Really like Yamakai from Asamiya, but the matcha was not good. All right, Shizuoka organic matcha okumidori. Okumidori is also comes from Shizuoka, from Yabukita. They are one of the most popular cultivar now from Japan. Yabukita is #1. I don't know if okumidori is #2, but I know there's a lot of farm like using okumidori. So I was looking online. Seems like 3% of Japanese tea cultivar are now okumidori now. Whereas like about 70–80% is like Yabukita. So still very small compared to Yabukita. All right, 1 gram. The color is not as exciting, so it's gonna be much worse. So I'm not gonna even bother trying. I'm not gonna even bother trying to make it koicha style. I don't usually measure them, by the way. I'm just doing this because of the sampling. Usually I just do 1 scoop. All right. Another thing that I usually do is the paper test. I'm not doing that either. It's gonna take forever. But if you're not familiar with paper tests, I've done that in the past. All right, I'm just gonna do it straight. This time, not strong version. Straight directly. Maybe I'm gonna give the Yamakai a try again in the future, but it was very bad. If you do a lot of matcha whisking, you're gonna have to have a strong whisk. Smell is better than the Yamakai. For some reason that Yamakai was very bad. I'm hoping that was just a bad sample. How frothy there. Okumidori from Shizuoka. No clumps, no need strainer. A little bit clumps on the side, but nah, not really. So what I'm looking at really the texture, how smooth it is when you drink it. That's really my #1 most important thing. It's so difficult trying to find really silky matcha. Most people never actually have experienced the really smooth, silky, buttery matcha. But it exists. You just have to find very hard. And this is not. Definitely not as smooth as I want it to. Is it something I will sell? Maybe, because the price is much cheaper coming from a big farm in Shizuoka. But it's not bad. It's just once you try a lot of matcha like me, I think you just get a lot more picky. It's not bad. I just don't know if I want to sell it. It's not exciting. Especially there is slightly astringency on the back. I mean, the smoothness is definitely there, but it's not the best one that I've had. For most people that haven't had a lot of matcha, I think you're gonna enjoy this. So for now, I guess I'm just kind of, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes yet. Oh, the hardest part about like drinking not the best matcha sometimes, just the aftertaste. It's kind of hard to wash it out. Whew. It's not bad though. The price is half of my other matcha, so, or like almost half. So I might have to bring that in just to give more access to people. We'll see, because I do feel it's still very challenging trying to find a good, affordable matcha. All right, let's see. The next one is matcha I'm not familiar with. Actually, I'm gonna try another okumidori. This time it's not organic. So typically, if it's not organic, it will taste a bit better. Not always, but in general, they tend to taste a bit smoother and sweeter. It's kind of challenging trying to be fully organic. So I'm gonna do the same cultivar okumidori. Like really energized right now. Oh, I kind of like my Wednesday, honestly. It's very peaceful here at the shop because we're not open to public on Wednesday. I get to do fun things that I want to do, like drinking a bunch of matcha in 1 hour. Let's see. Smells very similar. Oh, the color is definitely already better immediately. The smoothness I can see already. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the smell and everything is much better. Same cultivar, also from Shizuoka, okumidori. Everybody focusing so much on getting tea from Uji in Kyoto because that's like the champagne of the world, of like the Napa Valley of the matcha. Doesn't mean other region doesn't make good matcha. Other region make good matcha if you can find it. You can find it for like a fraction or like half of the price. Maybe not a fraction, but like definitely much cheaper. So I love tea from Uji, but I also want to try to find tea that is a bit more affordable, that everybody can afford. And hopefully similar quality. Now when you pay a tea from Uji, you're not just paying for the famous region, you're paying for the flavor that you can get from the region, like an Uji region. So the higher the quality, the more you can actually taste the Uji taste, right? And Uji is actually not one region, even though Uji Kyoto is one region, but anything around Uji, you can also sell it as an Uji tea. So I think as far as like even Mie, sometimes they sold it as Uji matcha. Shiga, what's other, Nara, all of those, you can basically sell it under Uji. Oh, this is much better, much better. Even though this is not organic, but color, smell, everything before I even drink it. I can already tell. Very similar to my royal matcha, the one that from Mie and from, not far from Uji. So beautiful. Color, very similar. Smell, very, very similar. This is a bit stronger now, but I'm gonna put a little bit more water just to see. I like to do 2 tests. It's much better, but it's not better than the one that I have from Uji and from Mie. It's good though. I can call the other one my royal matcha grade A, and this one is like my grade B, I guess. Yeah. Considering I can sell it for like cheaper, I think that's gonna be a lot of people will appreciate it. I just not sure if I want to do that, just because we're not really just a matcha place, you know, we sell a lot of other things. If we sell only matcha, it's no brainer. I like it. Nutty, tastes very similar. It's not as sweet, it's not as smooth as the one that we have, but it has a lot of potential. It's a bit brighter. I'm just adding more water to see how it tastes with a little bit more water. Definitely much better than the organic Okumidori, which is a no. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not like mind-blowing, but I enjoyed it. Very easy to drink. I will give a thumbs up on this one. Very easy. Unfortunately, I have to dump that because I can't finish all of those things. I'm gonna go all wired. But it's not organic. If organic is your thing, then... But you'd be surprised how much people avoid organic because of flavor. So that's why whenever I found something organic that tastes amazing, for me, that's truly is special. And we have that at the shop. It's not available online though, just because I don't have a lot. But I'm just happy I found one from this place that is like super good. That alone, it's worth the time for me to do all of this work. Right? I got like about 12 items to try. And so far I won that is like super excited. It tastes like chocolate. It was in my previous live video. I did it 3 times already. Every time it always hits the spot. So that was a true winner. All right, this is another one called Kogamo. Not familiar with this. This is first time I heard this name, so I'm not sure if it's the name of the family or if it's the name of the cultivar. There are like hundreds of like different name of cultivars, so don't expect me to know all of them. Even some tea master I met, you know, they don't know everything. Some of them is so rare that nobody's selling it, so. Oh, that was very nice. All right, another organic one, which is most of the time is a bad sign. The reason why I request for mostly organic is because it's hard to find, right? If it's easy, then I wouldn't try to get it, right? If I wanted to just find something that is like good, I probably wouldn't get all organic. but it is because it's hard, and I don't want. And you see it so often where a place will like recommend you to not buy the organic because the flavor is just much better on the non-organic, and I don't want to be that person, you know. I want to find organic that tastes good. So this is the organic one. So if you ever try organic, non-organic matcha side by side, 9 out of 10 of the time, the non-organic will win. Flavor, texture, smell, color, just everything. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I do have like a winner, organic matcha. It's just expensive. And eventually I will make it available on the website. I just don't have a lot right now. All right, it looks very rough, honestly. It doesn't look as bright. It's not as smooth. It barely have any smell. That's gonna be painful. I'm just gonna make it normal, regular style. You know, a lot of time I see people that making matcha for the first time. They're like struggling. They work so hard trying to whisk it as fast as possible. It's really not about the speed sometimes. It's about the technique. And it shouldn't make you very, very tired. And it's hard sometimes to teach that. So if you see how frothy this one is, this is really, really frothy actually. This is probably one of the frothier side of the one I made today. I don't know if you can see it, but look at that froth. The froth looks nice. The color is not as nice. The front part of your tongue is all the bitterness. So it's as soon as it hits that, I taste that bitterness. But the flavor surprisingly tastes like sencha. I don't think I put too much water. It tastes kind of weak actually. And there's a bitter initial, it disappears pretty quickly. But it really doesn't have much smell compared to the other one. All looks good to try. Well, it's not as good as it seems. Howdy. Hi, Harley. 5 Red. Frank. I think this makes a good iced green tea. If I just want to have that green flavor, it's better than buying like a green tea bottle from the supermarket. So you have to kind of like, we call it usucha, which is like a thin tea. You don't put too much matcha. You put just a little bit and fill up your bottle. That's called usucha. And I think this one makes a good that one. At least it's still a matcha. Sometimes a lot of like a green tea powder one, they're not even a matcha, right? In order for you to call it matcha, they have to be shaped for 3 weeks. So sometimes you see like a bottle of like looks like a matcha beverage, but it's not. Right? This one is at least it's a matcha. Not that exciting. So far, I know one that I really like, which is the one I tried last week. It was like a hand-picked matcha, and they only produce 30 kilo a year. I don't know if you understand how little they are. 30 kilo. So they're hand-picked. I think it's even organic. That was very, very good. It tastes like white chocolate. It's like a matcha coated chocolate. Very good. But other than that, everything else starting to go downhill. And of course, that one is the most expensive one. But you know, I might bring that non-organic okumidori because of the value. This is not something I will like carry. There's too many of these generic matcha out there. I don't need to be another supplier for an already crowded market. So I might only carry that one matcha, honestly. All right, I don't want to just drink matcha, even though that was my plan, but I want to try some other tea from this farm, which is an oolong. So I tried the other day, but it was a different one. It was okay. It was not bad. It was not excellent, but it's enough to get me excited, right? Japanese oolong is very difficult to find, and they're very different from one farm to another farm. The standard is slightly different from one place to another, so some of them is like really broken pieces. Some of them is like roasted, almost like a hojicha. So let's see. So this is using one of my favorite cultivar. I'm actually gonna use mine. I finally decided to keep this. So what happened is, this is from Shiga, 100% handmade. I sold it, and then the person returned it because it wasn't fit. It wasn't perfect. But I guess I forgot to mention in my product description, a lot of wares from Shiga, unfortunately, I feel like this is the style that is not very fit, right? It's different with like from Tokoname or like a lot of Chinese teapot, right? So the imperfection is what makes it unique. It sounds like an excuse, but it's not. Most of the ware from this area is kind of like that. And the fact that this is a shigayaki and it's like a whole bean, and the imperfection kind of nice because I can just kind of like play with the lid, and then I can control the flow of the tea, So I'm gonna just use it because I do understand why people are not gonna be happy with this, but I like it. All right, so we're going to make a baochong. I don't know if you know what baochong is. It comes from the Chinese word bao. It's bao. Zhong is just, I don't know, like a bundle, I guess. So baochong is Taiwanese oolong normally, but this is Japanese. So Japan is just next door to Taiwan. So I'm not sure how they learned the technique, but maybe it's the cultivar the same. I'm not quite sure yet. For this one, I can show you better the leaf. This is not a powder. I'm gonna use about 4 grams. Super excited on this one. Japanese baochong. 4 grams. It's gonna be a strong brew. Not as strong as some tea that I do, but this is pretty strong for 4 grams. All right. Anyone wanting to try this? Right. So first time using this whole bean. I like the size too. Very sweet, very honey-like. Very sugary. I like the smell already. Normally with baochong, I like to do about 180, 185. This one I'm gonna do a little bit lower, just because they are not a hand pick. A lot of baochong that I have, they usually hand pick. You can see the leaf is a little bit inconsistent, but that is pretty normal for a lot of Japanese oolong. So I'm not gonna compare it the same way. So because of that, the more broken the leaf, the better it is if you use lower temperature. I'm already happy just that the fact that the customer returned this for me. Like, that's the best return I've ever got. Because now I have a reason to use them. I always feel bad when I have like a teaware. Like, I want to sell it, but at the same time I want to use it, you know. Because if I use it, then I feel like I can't sell them. But this is perfect. And it really matches with the kind of style that I like. Alright. So I'm gonna brew this about, let's do like about a minute. Right? Out of all that matcha that I was drinking, surprisingly, I wasn't feeling super jittery. That's a good thing. That's a good sign. Sometimes I drink like one shot of matcha and you start feeling like really, really stressed. You know, that's not a good matcha. But that was pretty good, considering how much matcha I drank. All right, I'm going to strain this. This is about a minute. Let's see how does it well. Oh, look at that. I don't even need a strainer. It's beautiful. I'm just gonna put it directly. Wow, look at that gorgeous color. There's no leaves comes out. This is beautiful. Oh man, I'm so happy. I have a new favorite. Oh, wow. Look at that. I don't need a strainer at all because that leaf, it's like barely any gap. This could be my favorite Japanese teaware of all time now. Look how much tea I use. That's 4 grams. Oh, very, very floral. With like layers of grass notes, almost like a hay. It's almost like you're in like this flower garden. This is a little bit more kind of creamy on the lid. Ooh, this is a good potential. All right, color is beautiful. Oh yeah, very sweet, buttery, sweet and buttery. That is great for an oolong. This could be one of the best Japanese oolong. Wow. I have a different standard obviously when it comes to Japanese oolong, but I'm just gonna let it sit and see how bitter it gets. I wanna see how bitter it can get. Right? That's how you know. I wanna feel the pain. If you feel the pain, that's when you truly understand how good a tea is. Great body, great texture, barely any astringency. Aftertaste definitely exists. You know, definitely not as good as some Taiwanese tea, but for Japanese oolong, this is pretty impressive. Mm. And it has the oolong aftertaste, which just kind of excites me. It has that cooling sensation with a lot of like kind of that refreshing feeling with a lot of like high mountain oolong. Obviously, this is probably not high mountain, but they do a good job at replicating Taiwanese oolong. I wonder how popular is this in Japan though, because I've never seen it, never heard anyone that talk about it. So this could be in my tea club. So there are two teas so far. I'm very excited from this farm. The handpicked Samidori matcha and this oolong. I don't know. I don't know if it's organic or not, but so far it's good. Oh yeah. All right, I think that's strong enough. Feel the caffeine a little bit. It's probably an added caffeine from all the thing I've been doing. Look at that. Barely any leaves comes out. This is gonna make a great teapot for like gyokuro. And it's also much bigger than my normal hobbying. Great for party. I'm so happy that I get to keep this. The leaf is beautiful. It's a little bit slippery, but can't really see how beautiful they are. Very good. Japanese oolong from Shizuoka. I've had a really pricey oolong in Nagasaki during my recent trip. And I thought it was good, but I'm not sure if it's better than this one. This might be actually smoother. Now it's starting to get a little bit stringent, but not too bad, because I really abused that. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, even that brewing really strong. Definitely there's some astringency out there, but it's not overpowered, so I like it. I think I'm gonna introduce this to a lot of my customers. This might be the first oolong that I'm like from Japan that I'm like confident. Yeah. But anyway, that's all the tea I can take for today. It was 5 different matcha and 1 Japanese oolong. There are more tea for me to try, so whenever I need some time to do this, I'm gonna go live again. Doing live is my own self-feed, kind of like honest feedback of whatever the tea I got, right? And then after that, I usually will drink it with my regulars to see what they think. But yeah, this is a pretty good oolong. It does actually remind me of Baozhong now, the second brew. A little bit floral, really good aftertaste. That's all I can handle today. Thank you again for watching. If you have any questions, just message me. Yeah, you're welcome. Hopefully you learned something from my tasting. But that's how I normally do my tasting. Try to make it strong and try to do multiple styles. Right? Other than that, I'll see you again until the next video.